Good morning, scholars, American literature scholars. This is the video response to the Modernism in the beginning of our study of poetry, to that discussion board. And let me say that I'm glad I challenged you and gave you fewer points at the beginning of the semester, because you all are really stepping it up with these discussion boards. Funny, I'll read a post by somebody and then I'll jot a few notes in response before I read a reply, and then invariably somebody in their reply says what I would have said. So I mean, that's super. And you brought up points, especially with Marianne Moore's poetry, that I even hadn't considered before in as great a detail. So I just want to thank you. I enjoy reading your discussion posts very much. But I want to break that discussion board into the three poets, the three questions. And the first one was Edna St. Vincent Millay's "Oh, oh, you'll be sorry for that word." And Jolynn, in her post, brings up that the tone is sort of this lighthearted, insouciant, kind of nonchalant. But then by the end, there's a definite anger and a definite threat that things aren't going to remain this way and I'm just going to play the game for a while. And I was going to say that I wanted to see discussion of the volta, that shift in tone from that sort of nonchalant, I'll go along and play the game, to guess what, here's what my real intent is. And Charlie's thread actually expanded on that idea very well. And Marta's response to Charlie was very good. I like that Anna's observation that Millay is sort of mocking the sonnet form, which has traditionally been sort of like this, my mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun, or shall I compare thee to a summer's day. Traditionally a sonnet has been a love poem, and some sort of comparison happening to celebrate one's love. And Millay switches that around, and by playing with that form, that traditional sonnet form, she's also commenting on traditional gender roles within the patriarchal society, which is what Anna brings up, and I thought that was really good. I like that Charlie had brought up the meter and the rhythm, and how that rhythm is associated with the real versus the appearance. And then the other thing I like that some of you do is that you reference other writers that we've read, or even other stories or poems or movies that are out there. And in particular, I'm thinking about, I like how Christy brought up Kate Chopin, and how Chopin gave voice to women. And this reminded, Millay's poem reminded her of that. So that was very good. Go back and read Jolynn's, Anna's, Charlie's posts and threads and responses in the Millay discussion. Marianne Moore's poem, very difficult, and I agree with Jolynn, who gave kudos to Jennifer Langley for getting the ball rolling on that. That's a very difficult poem to talk about and hard to get at, and appreciate Jennifer getting the ball rolling on that. I absolutely loved Sierra's post, where she talks about the idea of revision and how important revision is as part of the idea of poetry, and contrasting the raw, the unfinished, the unrevised, the unrefined with the genuine. And Rachel also was very articulate in the way she expressed her understanding of Moore's poem, and she brings up Bush's Glycerine, and I thought that was a great comparison there, or example for what she was talking about. So for Marianne Moore's poetry, I would reread Sierra's and Rachel's posts. Finally, the Amy Lowell poem that you all talked about, you did such a super job on that. Marta, her post was excellent. I loved Sierra's response, where she talked about the form of media having a relationship between what's real and abstract and concrete. So the painting, which is more concrete, versus the poetry, which is a little more abstract. And then I, of course, was writing a note. I'm going to comment to Sierra that Amy Lowell is a she and not a he, but Marta got to that. So if you read Marta's thread and Sierra's thread and Marta's post, and then also Anna's thread, those were just simply excellent with Lowell's poem. And also, Tehran asked a really good question about stereotypes and Venus being sort of stereotypical female beauty, and what did people think about that particular choice. And I thought that was a great question, and nobody addressed it. So just something to think about. But again, just a super job, and I hope that this brief review will help you for the second part of the course, where this discussion board will be one you want to go back to as you prepare for TWIS 2 and maybe as you consider your second essay topic. So, from Keller, Virginia, without any animal interruptions today, I'll say goodbye.